Disclaimer, the comments made in this video are intended for entertainment purposes only and are not intended to offend anyone.
If you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. Hello and welcome to another video. Today we're kicking back to Wokey Backlash. Hit that like button, relax, and let's get right into the video.
Now, where do you want to put trans men? Where do you want trans men to go to the bathroom?
Well, it's a bit different trans men because they are women. So the problem is, as I explained to somebody I met in Brighton,
they're trans men.
They're not, they're women.
they've got better, most of them got better facial hair than you or I will ever have then.
Well, that they probably have because they take testosterone and I don't. I'll have to produce mine naturally. But they are, I'm sorry, as the court ruled, James, they're men. Sorry, they're women.
The pressure that has been put on in the campaign, we have never seen anything like it. It has been extensive.
So what about the rights of women, James? We hear about how trans people trans women want to use women's toilets. What about the women who are saying, hang on a minute, I feel scared here. I feel threatened by a 6-foot biological man being in the toilet with me. What about them?
6 foot. It's now to do with people's height, Ben.
Yes, it is. It is actually, James. It is. It's all about height. It's about power. It's about the threatening nature.
Women. There are cis biological women who are 6 foot. So that argument makes absolutely no sense.
On the whole, James,
when you talk about people's
you're playing silly. On the whole, men. Let's agree on this point first before we continue. Men, on the whole, are more physical, powerful beings than women. They are generally taller. They are faster. They're quicker. Much bigger lung capacity, bigger bone density. They can, on the whole, they can manhandle women. That's what women are scared about. You agree with that?
What we're talking. Yeah, let's get down to what we're talking about here.
Do you agree with that?
The problem men pose. Men are the problem.
Well, yeah,
are you a feminist,
trans women are men.
Are you a feminist, Ben?
No, I'm not.
Why? Why are you making an argument for feminism?
We're going down a silly rabbit hole because I mean, okay, don't answer my other point then. To answer your feminism point is because the term feminist has been hijacked by very extreme people, and I believe in equal rights for women, but that doesn't make me a feminist.
I think that makes you a feminist. That makes you a feminist. You should be proud to say it.
No, it doesn't. Not in today's definition.
I'm a feminist.
Not in today's definition.
The point is that I'm a feminist. I believe in protecting women. Now, the danger to women is men. It's not trans women. Trans women are not men.
Sorry.
Trans women are women, and they are not men. And statistically, they are not attacking women anywhere near the capacity that people, that you would give the credence to in the media. It's absolutely diabolical.
I think Ben Leo's confused. You're a weak man, we agree. This doesn't make every other man weak.
Okay, make sense of this behavior. This is in Italy. Just walking in the middle of the road, police car there, punches the police car as if, I wonder what's going to happen next. It's so mindless.
Well, it looks like someone messed around and found out accordingly.
I am going to who did they vote for to the mother round. Like any scenario, my family will tell me like good news about a person we know. Like they got their dream job, they're getting married, they're having a child. But who did they vote for before I decide I'm happy for them and I'm gonna congratulate them? Or like I'll be told something like really tragic about someone and I'll be like, didn't they vote for this person? Why would I feel bad for them? It's really sinister. I was actually at a bar recently and I was talking to this guy. I was not interested in this guy. I was literally only talking to him because my friend was talking to his friend. And he starts inching closer to me and I'm like, oh no, this man is gonna kiss me. Oh, light bulb moment. I know he didn't vote for Kamala. I'm gonna kill the vibe real quick. I proceed to go, wait, before you step any closer, I need to kill the vibe and ask you who you voted for. He proceeds to tell me he didn't vote at all. So I was like, okay, cool, this is done. And then I proceed to find out his friend asked me, why aren't you talking to my boy anymore? And I'm like, well, he told me he didn't vote. And he goes, why are you guys even talking about this right now? Like, we're at a bar. And I'm like, who'd you vote for? He refused to respond. I ended up just leaving the bar screaming at him, telling him he hates women and he should stop speaking to and dating them because you don't like them. Yeah, I'm just gonna be that person that kills the vibe for the rest of my life.
You know what's funny? You act like you look. Isn't that crazy?
We were in line earlier and you were asking me about the book on butt plugs. And I said that I think that in high school groups where unfortunately we know that students are having, and that I think that safe is always important, safe practices are always important, and that is the type of, that's queer sex, so that's not heteronormative. And you called it disgusting. Yes. So you told me that my counterparts have it's disgusting, and I don't see how that is not openly homophobic.
The reality is it's not openly homophobic because that means that you think.
To call queer You don't think that's on the
That means that you think that only homosexual couples use butt plugs.
No, they absolutely don't.
Heterosexual couples use butt plugs as well.
So do you think that just butt plugs is more disgusting?
So I'm saying that teaching children, minors, about this is disgusting.
Right. So I guess that comes into abstinence-only education versus safe.
It's not abstinence only. It's not safe sex. At the end of the day, a butt plug is not going to create a child. It's not going to have an issue on a person that relates to catching an STD unless the actual butt plug is not properly sanitized.
Exactly, and I think that's what that book was detailing, is how to safely use those instruments.
Educate children on how to use butt plugs. Children, if you're an adult and that is what you want to do, if that's what stimulates you and gets you off, have at it. Are you a parent?
I'm not a parent.
Oh, so you're not a parent. Okay. And you are a parent?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
What is even that?
And so, as a father, 2 boys and a girl, I don't want anyone teaching my child how to use of any kind. That is.
Where have boundaries gone?
My name is Aiden, and this is my voice 1 day on T. Hi, my name is Aiden, and this is my voice 3 days on T. My name is Aiden, and this is my voice 3 months on T.
Guess I'm gonna be drinking coffee from now on. I hear matcha is good too.
This is psychotic.
Had it with these white women that are just enablers to this patriarchal system. Off. If if you're not going to vote for women, then stay at home and be a trad wife. Otherwise, sit down and shut the
White women are a huge disappointment. The overwhelming majority are a huge disappointment.
It isn't normal to talk about entire groups of people like this in this bizarre collectivist manner, especially when all they've done to offend you so greatly is disagree with you. But white women are a disappointment. Replace those. So let's say black men are such a disappointment. Do you see how crazy that sounds now? Do you see how it's actually racist and bizarre to discuss entire demographics full of millions of individuals as if there's some collective lump sum, as if they're supposed to think or vote or act a certain way because of the box they check off on the census? It's just wild. They don't.
What do these people have against wives though? Is it because no one wanted you?
Men don't care.
No,
we don't care.
You don't
care.
You ain't met my man. Let's just be real.
Does he have kids?
No. Okay, you know what? Okay, you want to go?
It's just a question.
No, he doesn't have kids.
I don't want to categorize him incorrectly.
He doesn't have kids.
Got a chick with 2 kids and he don't have kids? He's one of those?
Correct. He's one of those, but guess what? He wants to have a big family. He wants a lot of kids. And I can't give that to him, but I can give him at least 1, and that's about it because I got 2 already. And that's just
You just said he can't have his dreams come true.
That one must have hurt like a bee sting.
Just so that we're all abundantly clear here, not only are trans people sacred, they are wildly evolved human beings. I'm going to invite you to imagine for a moment the amount of strength, courage, self-knowing, and profound self-development that is required in order to walk through the world in your authentic embodiment, knowing that most people will deeply misunderstand you. The average person will not walk through the world in their authentic embodiment knowing that even 1 or 2 people in their circle will misunderstand. From a psychological and a spiritual perspective, there is absolutely, other than love, nothing more important or more valuable than authenticity. That's why we come here into human bodies. We come here to self-actualize, to know who we truly are, and to live as our authentic selves. That's the whole point. Trans people are wildly evolved, and one day we will understand them as wisdom keepers and we will bow at their feet.
This sounds like ayahuasca to me. Now at their feet for wearing makeup, horribly fitting clothes, and growing facial hair.
The Holy Spirit brought me here to challenge you to a gentleman's fist fight right here in front of this whole crowd. Now look, listen.
No.
Wait.
I would hate to hospitalize you in front of 2,000 people.
Okay, so hold on. I'm serious about this. I'll let you take the first punch. Let's go, Charlie Kirk.
You know what?
So,
first of all, it says very clearly in the Bible that we shouldn't harm those that are worthy of protection, and you obviously are.
You're just worried I'll kick your ass.
Well on Medicare age. But let's play this out. Despite the obvious fact, and you and I both know who would win this duel. However,
then put
You
up or
are. Hold
shut
on a
up.
second. This is a great embodiment of the American left. You can't debate, so you want to go to blows. You can't. The only thing that is preventing us from this country from going to civil war is debate and dialogue, and you don't even want to have debate. You want to go and you want to wrestle like a 7-year-old. Who here is actually dividing the country? I would like to think that we are elevated above trying to go have a fight in the streets or a fight in front of 2,000 people. In fact, a mark of civilization is that we don't have to go to blows or bullets. I'm not going to fight you because I don't have to. Because you know why?
You don't have to.
You are acting as if someone who is very desperate, who is clout chasing, and we won an election. We are going to remain peaceful while the left promotes violence. We are going to be the peace because, as Christ our Lord said, blessed are the peacemakers, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Thank you, sir, and get out of here.
Oh, please, he just wanted an excuse to sue Charlie.
It's not cool to be a young, straight, white dude and be red-pilled on the internet. Like, it's not cool to own the libs just to own the libs. The worst trend right now in politics is that young, straight, white males are swaying conservative because to your boys, it's cool to own the libs even if you have no idea what you're actually talking about. Harry and I are in North Carolina. It's not cool in America, coming from two straight white dudes, to do this. It's not cool to just own the libs. You should be on the right side of history and like care about the fact that your mom and your sister deserve good health care in America. Vote for Kamala Harris. Don't do this. Your boys don't like you because you do this.
Straight white men are swaying more and more conservative each year because they feel as though they're attacked for simply being straight white men. Straight white men feel attacked by liberal ideologies. So you know how we're gonna fix that? We're gonna attack them some more. You guys are sitting next to each other in bed. Y'all look like y'all just got done cuddling. But sure, tell everybody exactly what it means to be cool. Like, is it cool to be a straight black conservative, a straight Native American conservative, Hispanic conservative? I mean, those were a lot of the sleeper votes. Why didn't y'all call them out? I'd like to see how good you are defending your views when you aren't able to pander and go for an easy target. Like, I would respect these dudes so much more if they just came out and said, I don't give a damn if you're black, white, yellow, purple, turquoise. If you're a conservative, you're lame. I'd be like, hey, we might disagree, but hey, you got it, bro. But they never do that because they're pander bears.
Actually, like a real man in America, if you go up to your boys and you're like, yo, why are you voting for this user? That's like way more cool and like manly than like whatever the this is. If you care for your sister, your mother, your wife, your daughter, your...
Why are they moving their hands so much?
Fiance, whoever. That's manly. That's cool.
Being a conservative isn't manly, bro. But also, I support not knowing what a woman is. I also don't know how many genders there are, but I'm so manly. But also, we need to dismantle harmful gender stereotypes if we truly want a productive and progressive society. But also, be a man. Act like a man. I'm like 89% sure that y'all...
The only thing they said that remotely made sense was them being white. Straight man? I don't think so.
We watered the bill down. We didn't get as much as we could have, and we took a bite out of that apple that was a tiny bite instead of just eating the whole thing when we got there. I think if we want to inspire people, you can't ask people to give $1 billion. No, you can't ask people to give $1 billion to a campaign. You can't ask them to knock doors, to get out on the streets. Okay, we know who the boss is. That was clear. And ask them. You can't ask them to do that unless they feel personally invested in it and they're getting something back out of it in a real way. And with that, First Lady of Minnesota.
No, this is what he wanted for himself.
So MAGAs, can someone explain the difference to me between men apparently dressing up like women to go into women's restrooms so that they can take advantage of women, and men potentially dressing up like unmarked ICE agents, plainclothes officers, and handcuffing them and snatching them off the street and putting them into an unmarked van to take advantage of them? You all want to protect women and girls. You have, go through legislation to marginalize trans people in the sake of protecting women and girls, but now we have ICE agents who are plainclothes snatching women off the street. What's going to stop a man from dressing up like an ICE, or just dressing up and saying he's an ICE agent, handcuffing somebody and throwing them in a van? What's going to stop them? Where's your...
There are laws against impersonating an officer and kidnapping a person.
They're like, oh, we respect Leah as a woman, as a trans woman, whatever. We respect her identity.
I don't respect you as a woman. You're a man.
We just don't think it's fair. You can't really have that sort of half support where you're like, oh, I respect you as a woman here, but not here.
Leah Thomas is actually right about this. We shouldn't lie to him over here and say he's a woman when he's not. And then over here in sports, tell him he can't play in the women's category. We should be consistent and just say, you're not a woman.
They're using the guise of feminism to sort of push transphobic beliefs.
No, we're just stating reality, and it's not transphobic to state reality.
And I think a lot of people in that camp sort of carry an implicit bias against trans people.
No, just bias towards the truth because the lie harms everyone.
But don't want to, I guess, fully manifest or speak that out, and so they try to just play it off as this sort of half support.
They think about how twisted feminism, quote unquote, feminism has become. Their arguments, you know, in order to exclude anybody in the trans category, you have to reduce women to reproductive capacity.
No, it's not just about who can have a baby. It's about anatomical differences. Men typically have higher muscle mass, bone density, and testosterone levels, enhancing their strength. Men have larger hearts and lungs that support greater oxygen capacity, all of which gives them advantages in performance.
I don't want to put those women down.
Here comes the gaslighting.
Either, and I know you don't want to either, because I see pain. I see pain, and the pain is coming from somewhere.
You see pain, and you don't want to put women down, but you're fine with men taking their sports in spaces. Got it.
It's not you, though. It's the patriarchy. And how can we get people to see that?
We're supposed to be afraid of this boogeyman called the patriarchy, but not be concerned about the men in dresses and putting on women face and then demanding women's sports in spaces. Okay, that's...
I don't respect or accept your costume, bro.
These are the requirements that you need to have in order to date me, a single mom of 3 kids. Number 1 is that you need to be making at least $130K a year. And you need to have at least 2 side hustles. If you cannot make $130K or more, then you are out of my... How do you expect to give me money for my kids if you only make $50K a year? Second is I don't date men that are younger than me because... for obvious reasons. So 26 to 35 is the age limit. Okay, I feel like 35 is because they look old as... I'm 26, I'm a baby, so yeah. You have to have at least 3 cars under your name. Your second car has to have 8 seats because I have 3 kids. Another requirement is that you have to have a property under your name. You have to be looking into getting your second property. You have to get a home that has 6 rooms.
How about you raise those barriers a little higher? He needs to be Elon Musk or a few billion short.
When it landed, I had to turn the volume down on my monitor because I couldn't even hear them. They were...
Love you. We love you. Bring us back safe. We're so grateful. We're counting on you. We're counting on you.
This is before they left.
We believe in you too.
Like, what are you doing? You're just throwing up in the air for a little bit. It's a Highland fling up in the air. That's all it is. They all have their suits. The only one who could actually fly this thing maybe would be Lauren Sanchez because she's a helicopter pilot. But the others, I don't know anything about. What was the purpose of this? To show that chicks can go up in the air? I'm fascinated by why they felt like they needed to show that. I mean, normally when you're doing like experimental space flight and stuff like that, you're trying to achieve something. Like, oh, we're going to set this record, or we're going to see how far we can, go up here. I'm not trying to be mean or a naysayer. I think all this stuff is cool. I'm just curious as to what purpose was achieved from this to show that broads can go into...
I'm surprised there wasn't a trans woman with them.
This is what bothers me, because I've certainly read some of the things online coming from people that I know, that I like, that I consider friends. Space is not an either or, it's a both and because you do something in space doesn't mean you're taking anything away from Earth. And what you're doing in space is trying to make things better here on Earth. What Blue Origin wants to do is take the waste here and figure out a way to put it in space to make our planet cleaner. I mean, Jeff Bezos has so many ideas, and the people that are working there are really devoted and dedicated to making our planet a better place. That's number 1. Number 2, there was nothing frivolous about what we did. So, I'm very disappointed and very saddened by it. And I also say this, what it's doing to inspire other women and young girls, please don't ignore that. I've had so many women and young girls reach out to me, and men too, by the way, men too, that say, wow, I never thought I could do that, but I see you doing it at this stage of my life.
Well, she's upset. Also, the goal is to pollute space.
My mission is clear. I'm focused. I'm prepared. I'm ready. I've been trained by the best. I went to Howard University. That overturned legal segregation in this country. I've been taught in those classrooms where Thurgood Marshall once taught. I'm not afraid of no president. Donald Trump, we're ready for you. We're coming for you. We're standing up for you. We're fighting on. We're not going down silent. Victory, my friends, is clear. It's now. And I'm not waiting 4 years. I'm waiting 2 until a speaker by the name of Hakeem Jeffries comes to bring us some rest. Come on, ladies. It's up to us. We saved this democracy.
Seem a little worried about being referred to the DOJ for fraud. If you have nothing to hide, what are you worried about? But we all know, 99.99% of the time, you guys are always...
Your Howard degree isn't a get out jail card, Letitia. This actually cracked me up.
I'm getting really sick of seeing this comment. I have a woman's voice. I have a woman's face, woman's body. Is the man in the room with us? I think so.
Okay, now listen. I can have compassion that you're not like every other dude out here broing it out. But the reality remains, no matter how many surgeries you get, no matter how many hormones they throw at you, you're still gonna have to get that prostate checked in a couple of years. So yeah, the man is in the room with us, and it's you, babe.
You sound and act like an angry dude, though.
Is this liking animals? Right? Smashing skulls in pig farms.
I have a pet pig. Its name's Ziggy.
So you don't eat pigs?
No, I eat pig.
You eat your pet?
No, I don't eat him. I eat his friends.
His relatives, his brothers, sisters, his mum and dad. You could be eating his parents.
Yeah, I could be.
And his siblings.
Yeah, but he's my pet.
You going to cook Ziggy tonight?
No.
Why not?
Because he's my pet.
If you assign them as your pet,
Yeah.
then they're not food, but otherwise they are food.
Yeah.
That makes totally no sense.
No, what about the plants that the animals eat?
What do you want to talk about? Why do you want to talk about the plant?
Because like plants are living things, and like you guys eat plants. Like
You honestly think that if I get a knife and stab that tree, it's the same as getting a knife and stabbing Ziggy to death?
no, not Ziggy. His friends.
Oh, his friends.
Yeah, shoot.
This is full mental.
I need to get a burger just for this one, maybe a brisket too. Well, that's a wrap on this one, ladies and gents. As always, thank you for watching. I'll assume you've liked, commented, and subscribed. See you in the next one.